Hey friends, Patrick here. How you doing today? I hope you're well. Wanted to give a quick video covering a few topics. One was a posting that I saw. Somebody posted it to the social media. It was a posting by the University of Waterloo, and they were advertising for a engineering professor dated March 21st, 2022. They're looking for a candidate to be a professor, and they said in the posting, in the case of an exceptional candidate, an appointment at the rank of associate professor will be considered. This call is open only to qualified individuals who self-identify as women, transgender, non-binary, or two-spirit. And that's mentioned twice in the posting. And so I wanted to comment on this because I'm trying to put myself in the feet of the administration or the deans or the associate deans or the people in charge of putting these requirements in place, and they're putting them in place at the direction of the government-funded Canada Research Chair or the National Natural Science and Engineering Research Council. It sounds like that's a federally funded Tier 2 Canada Research Chair, I'm thinking. The reasoning behind doing this is to account for previous times when the distribution of teaching positions were overly weighted amongst groups that don't fit those descriptions. And so they want to balance out the distribution, the diversity. They want to balance out the idea. The sentiment behind such a program is trying to account for the situation that occurred in the past, but it forces one to ask the question, is this a balancing out? So is this a striving to increase the representation of these groups, or is it a form of, for want of a better word, revenge, for want of a better word, reverse racism, or repeating racism in a different direction? Is that what's happening here? Or is this actually a good effort, or is it two wrongs don't make a right? I think it's easy to see that the way that their desire to balance out representation is being implemented is in error, is incorrect, is immoral what they're doing. They are implementing an overtly racist policy to account for a situation that happened in the past. The first question to ask yourself is, well, when did the university have a policy where they would only hire people that were not part of these groups that I mentioned earlier? Did they ever have a policy where they only hired people that weren't part of that group? No, they never had such a policy. And the proponents of this policy might say, well, no, but that's ended up what happening. Well, the way to rectify that is to try and increase the representation of those groups without making the opportunity only available to those groups. Do you see the difference? It could be a subtle difference, but it's all the difference in the world to implementing something that's fair, as opposed to trying to balance out a past indiscretion by replacing it with another one. Does that make any sense of what I'm trying to say here? Right? I think it's something that should be examined in more detail and probably explained by somebody who can explain it better than I can. And so it's sad to see that they've gone to this extreme where they're implementing an overtly racist policy to account for something that happened in the past which didn't happen. Well, then they might argue, well, if you go back further, then you're dealing with colonial indiscretions and all that kind of stuff. Come on, we have to look at relevant history. Every nation and every tribe and every group has suffered pain and persecution and wrongdoing in the past to one degree or another. The history of this policy has nothing to do with that. If you look at relevant history of the university, have they ever had a policy that is opposite of this? And no, they haven't. Obviously not. Has there been an unbalanced weighting in certain groups? Probably there has been, which can be rectified through efforts and awareness in areas of proper representation and diversity and so on and so forth. But the policy that they posted on this particular date, advertised March 21st, 2022 by the university, is easily seen as being completely wrong and embarrassing to them as a supposedly sorry about that. I had a call come in. The second thing I wanted to discuss today was a posting that somebody made about the mainstream media, and in it they took a collection of posts, one from Toronto Star, Cable Post 24, Globe and Mail, CTV News, National News, the Ottawa Citizen. They all repeating the same thing. They put out a news report claiming that the unvaccinated increase risk to the vaccinated. And they are quoting a U of T COVID study. They're all repeating the same thing. They're all spewing out the same news and sending that out. And it's amazing to me the number of Canadians who are influenced by this. This gets repeated and repeated and repeated. And the strength of the mainstream media to affect people's conscience. Imagine having an occupation where your job is essentially being paid to promote falsehoods. What a miserable life that must be. And to see that this news is going to go out and affect the bulk of Canadians who are sleeping, and they accept the mainstream media as genuine news. They would look at this and read this and say, oh, well, that must be true. When anybody with any awareness would know that this is a study that was sponsored by, paid for by Pfizer and AstraZeneca, it would know that this is, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. In any event, somebody amalgamated all the news reports, and they mentioned how it's psychological warfare. It's tactical use of propaganda, threats, and other techniques to influence the population. It's very sad. Somebody mentioned a comment. They said UW should not ban professors and students that choose not to be injected with the experimental genetic jabs. Absolutely, Layla, thank you for that comment. Absolutely. Absolutely. We see that. We can see that the decisions that's being made at the academic ivory towers, academia, they're influenced by somebody that is either paying them to make bad policy or paying them to alienate the public. Their morality has gone out the window. What has happened to academia when they implement policies that are directly opposed to people's freedom to choose their own medical treatment or to hire based on merit? This is a sad thing. And the only way these policies can change is if enough people become aware of them and speak up against them. So thank you for speaking up, Layla. Thank you for that feedback. And so we see in the MSM, and a lot of people picked up on that, how it was just all repeating the same thing. You've seen that video where they say, and this is a threat to our democracy. They all spit out the exact same thing, and they repeat it over and over and over again. And unless we speak up, we'll end up being influenced by that same news, that same truth, their version of truth, which 99% of the time is not truth, but it's actually falsehood. And last point I want to make quickly is Elon Musk is in the news as buying Twitter. The times I've seen Elon Musk that jump out at me are the times he spoke on Joe Rogan. And the other time, which a lot of people probably didn't see, is when he spoke with the members of the Babylon Bee. Now, I don't know if you're aware, the Babylon Bee is a parody group of believers who poke fun at hypocrisy. And they're very insightful. And they're just a small group. And Elon Musk went out of his way to appear on their podcast. And that really expanded my respect for Elon Musk, that he would go ahead and do that. I mean, he didn't gain anything from it, but he was encouraging them, supporting them. I think it was when he was on a trip to Texas or something. I forget the context. But I can only see this as being a good thing. I know he's a billionaire and he's this and he's trying to put chips in people and blah, blah, blah about this, all kind of things that he's accused of or whatnot. But it seems like this is something that is going in the right direction, to have somebody with some semblance of a moral awareness, somebody that is astute logically and intellectually, to come in and say, hey, what you guys are doing here is not right. This wholesale banning and censoring of diverting opinions is can't continue. And he took steps to go out of his way to perhaps raise funds from his own resources and the resources that he's connected to, and to purchase this platform, which is obviously a very powerful medium, the way that it provides interactive instant feedback to the users. That's why it's so popular, because it is a very immersive environment, the Twitter platform. Anybody that uses it often is going to realize that it's very a powerful social media platform. And so to see Elon Musk come in will give the population a strengthened opportunity to combat these types of, what I hate to use the word disinformation, because that's something Trudeau, I mean, compare Trudeau speaking to when Elon Musk speaks. When Elon Musk is speaking, he's entertaining, he's insightful, he's disarming, he's very off the cuff, open. He has the sensibility of somebody that is willing to discuss things openly and honestly with a capital H. Whereas Trudeau, you listen to him speak and it makes you want to throw up. You know, every word that comes out of his mouth is, you know, prefabricated drama bullshit that is, you know, useless to the people that are listening to him. Whether it's in Parliament or whether it's doing a press conference, the guy is, as the leader of the Canadian population, he's an embarrassment, right? That's not hard to see. And so this is a real inspiration to see that Elon Musk is going to be taking over Twitter. This could give us the opportunity to fight back against bad policies that are based on incorrect woke ideology, oftentimes with very good intentions, very good moral aspirations, but end up somehow in translation becoming detrimental to the advancement of civilization, to the point where they become absolutely unproductive, unfair, and essentially stupid policies that we see, whether it's the media parroting a single story or a single study out of the many studies, out of the many unbiased studies. They pick one, which is a biased study, and who is paying for that study, and then they all parrot that. It's not hard to see that they are being bought to promote a specific storyline. The people are not stupid, but when the people have been deceived, it doesn't matter whether they're stupid or intelligent. Deception, ruins the entire population because it pits those that are aware against those that are not. It pits the deceived against those that are not deceived or everything in between. And so you end up not knowing where truth sits at all. And so if Elon Musk takes Twitter private and begins to implement better policy which respects and promotes truth, it can only be a good thing. I'm very, very hopeful that we can move forward. And then we wouldn't see these, imbecilic policies being implemented on university campuses that really just are not helpful to anybody. And we could start seeing real, genuine value placed on merit, equal opportunity for all based on merit, and equal attention to news based on truth and honesty, and not based on deception and paid for sponsorships from corporations that have more concern for their own greed than the welfare of the population. Anyhow, I hope you're having a fantastic day. I really appreciate you for watching. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you, Layla. Truth needs open conversation, not censorship. I agree 100%. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's an excellent, excellent comment. And the universities do need to defend free speech. Amen. Amen. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day. And we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.